Questions?
What's the competition? Who else is coming up with similar sorts of stuff?
We have these small competitors called Sigma, Invitrogen, GE Healthcare, but BD Bioscience is actually the market leader with their product called Matrigel. But actually the marketplace, or it's very scattered, because and the reason is that there is not actually a really good product, so that's why none of them is really dominating. Matrigel and with BD, they have done good marketing. So,
but Matrigel's been around for decades.
Yeah, but they...
I mean, has it got better, or what is it that you're now producing that sort of people, when they try your stuff, do they never go back because actually I've got uniformity?
It works.
It just works so much better.
It works so much better. So the thing is that, yeah, I usually have a 20-minute presentation about this, but I skipped most of the technology. But stem cells usually grow in clumps, or that's how they're perceived previously. And the cells that are inside the clump, they have a very different environment, growth environment, than ones that are outside. And this makes that cells are differentiated, that they look different in different parts. And once you split the cells, then you have to kind of maybe use a knife or something underneath the microscope and take away the parts that you're not interested in, and then use only the ones that are stem cells. And basically Matrigel pushes cells towards differentiation, and then you have the cell culture medium on top that has these inhibitors that it doesn't differentiate. So then in the end you have some kind of status quo and you have some differentiation. But with our proteins, the cells actually, or the laminins, they activate a signaling pathway in the cells that keep them pluripotent. So the cell culture medium can be very, very simple. So it's a natural environment for them, and that's the beauty of this. And cell culture media is something that we will come up very soon.
So from a regulatory perspective, are you coming up with something that can be much more easily characterized and have fewer components?
Yes.
So that when you go to the regulator, you can say, look, in simplistic terms, there are 20 ingredients here, they are.
Yes.
Whereas at the moment, you've got kind of a bit of a mishmash, plus a really complex cell culture mixture.
Yeah.
And
yes.
So you're just are you simplifying the regulatory process for a lot of your customers?
Yes, we believe so. I mean, basically, the laminin is a protein in a buffer. We can, I mean, it's no problem telling what's in the buffer. And then, I mean, the cell culture medium will be so much more simpler because you can basically take away a lot of the things that you need with the Matrigel, because Matrigel is not the optimal environment. So yeah, that's one of our key selling points, actually, is that the GMP, we have started the GMP development of our product, because basically we have to do it from the beginning. And that's our, we have a lot of customers that are already asking for the GMP.
So what's the intellectual property coverage?
It's good.
Because laminins are newly discovered.
Yes, we've actually the science I never mentioned. The science comes from Karolinska Institutet, and the fact that we found that what the different laminins do, those are mostly interactions with different research groups within the area. But we have laminin is a natural protein that itself you cannot patent, but the manufacturing process you can patent. And then the utilities, using laminin 501 for culturing human embryonic stem cells in a pluripotent form, that's a patent. So that's basically what we have. Manufacturing patents and then application patents.
How far away are you from getting the
1 year maybe. We've started the process, and it probably takes, according to the project plan that we've seen, it takes something like 1 year and a couple of months. So maybe 1 year left if everything goes okay.
So presumably, can you tell us, get an idea what sales like now, and you've got a projection afterwards to get GMP?
I actually don't think that the GMP will, in the beginning, be a very big sales. We won't be selling that too much, because the companies actually will have to use the research grade first to do their toxicity studies and something else. So I don't think, I think that the major reason why we are actually producing this GMP line at the moment is to actually convince the big companies that you can rely on us. We do have this product in the future because we were talking with some big pharma companies before when they were deciding on how to culture their stem cells for their clinical trials, and then we kind of lost. And one of the reasons was that we didn't have trustworthiness because we're a small company, maybe we're bankrupt, maybe we're sold. But now when we show that we can actually produce the GMP and we will have it for them, so then it's a totally different business. And now that we decided, I have started the pace, we have talked back to these companies, and now they're interested in it again because they believe that this is a good product. They've tested the products. Okay.
Any more questions?
How do you find it? Not investor here, but how do you find it investor appetite for what you're doing?
Venture capitalists have been. We've actually. We were thinking of making a therapy company first with this, that we use our technology to actually do a therapy. But I personally didn't think that was that attractive. It doesn't fit my personality, so I rather wanted to build a company that sells this to everybody. And I also thought that this treatment will come to the market earlier if everybody uses it. It's like an open source kind of thing. Instead of going and digging for gold in California, we sell these access to everybody that is going and digging for the gold. We have had interest, but actually so far we have friends and family, and then a Swedish, one Swedish rich person that has been putting a lot of money. He founded a company called QMed that he just sold a couple of months ago for 300 million pounds. Or, I mean, that was his share. He sold it for 600.
So do you think if you had gone for more developing a therapeutic yourself, that would have been more attractive to?
In the beginning, that was definitely the case because, as I mentioned before, many of the venture capitalists they know how to develop drugs, but they don't know that much about this kind of reagent market. But actually, the market for this is huge. But if you don't understand it, you prefer to invest in something that you know how it works. And so some of the initial things. But actually, one of the reasons why we didn't take venture capital in the beginning was that we just thought that the offers that they were outrageous. They want to give X amount of money, and then they want to take 50 or 30% of the share. And we, as we can sell from day one, we actually sold a half year before anybody was working in the company. We bought the material from the academia and then sold it to certain customers. So we thought that we can create revenues from the beginning that we don't need that much venture capital.
China there, sort of slightly more purple than everywhere else.
Which one?
China.
Yeah.
Is that like a really big market for you?
No, we have a distributor in China, but actually the reason is that I usually use Keynote when I do the presentations, and then now that I had to do this in PowerPoint, so then I took an old slide, and actually these are not the colors that I normally use, but I just don't know why they went like this. And China wasn't in that slide, so I had to change it here, and as the PowerPoint versions changed, so I couldn't make it exactly the same as that one. So it's a technicality.
I was getting excited there.
Actually, USA is our biggest market. China, we have distributors in UK, Ireland, Japan, and China at the moment, and looking for other distributors because at the moment we believe that we're a bit too small to be able to conquer the world, and I think that we have a product that has a possibility to do that, and I think that collaborating with maybe one of our competitors even would be very good for everybody.
There is a little trend
maybe even in the Uppsala-Stockholm region, of starting companies like this. All the 3 companies that we have around us now, spun out of my lab, have so far done without venture capital. One of them may take venture capital now, but one of them has repeatedly said no to venture capital because you lose so much control. And if you can start producing like Bilamina can, then you can preserve your freedom. So it's a little different business model. It's a change of thought.
I have another company that I'm trying to start at the moment as well, and but that's a regular. It's actually a monoclonal antibody treatment, but that costs so much money. So there's no other option there than try to find some venture capital to fund that one. I mean, this is a bit different.